What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, lobaggers? Happy Thursday morning to all of you. Thank you for joining me here on Betting with the Back. It was a interesting day yesterday. Not how I wanted it to bang out. We have our man in the chat right now, Rob Watkins, saying to me, buddy, pal, please don't put money on the Flames. They're so overrated. Center an old-time coach who screams and yells at these athletes. Don't respond to that anymore, lack of talent. That was a bad loss. And I ended up adding Flames first period minus a half at plus 150. So they lost 2.12 units there. Lost on the Wild minus 1.5. They look bad. Ugh. Won with the Penguins minus 1.5. Lost with the Buffalo, Pittsburgh under 6. Really thought that was going to be a push until that penalty shot with 3 minutes left. And then cashed the Jets minus 1 very easily. 2-4, down 2.23 units in NHL, so now down 3.85 units on the year. Awful. I'll get that back. I'll get that back today, baby. And then in NBA was 3-3. Just move over there. Sorry, there's so many games in the NHL today. So 3-3. Pacers first quarter loss. Pacers first half cash. Timberwolves plus 8 loss. That was, in retrospect, terrible bet. Grizzlies minus 4.5 won. Hawks minus 3 loss. Celtics plus 7 a winner. So that's where we stood yesterday. Michael Irvalina says, I still think Sutter can coach. Just a few of the young ones on the Flames have a cocky attitude. Team is definitely going to be a solid team next 2 years in the future. There's Gerald Jones in the house. Thank you for joining us, Gerald. We have Matt Randall, star of the Taint Play of the Day, joining us. A Viper NB Gas Station Sushi in the house. Gas family, as you guys know, who roll with us, own horses. And, man, does he have a spectacular one running on Saturday. One of my favorite horses running. Maybe my favorite, Gas. That's what it's come to. Maybe my favorite horse. And I can't wait to watch Greg Dar run. Greg Dar running on Saturday. I think it's at Santa Anita. I will double check that. But we cashed nicely on Greg Dar. Last time he ran at Santa Anita, I think we got 7-1 on his winning race there. And I doubt we're going to get that number, but spectacular horse. So Gas Station's horse running on Saturday. Greg Dar. And woo, beauty, absolute beauty. So keep an eye out for that on Saturday because I'm going to go right back to the well. A. Hilly in the house. Marlon Z. Great to have you guys here. We got Nilo ready to work. Birdie. Guillermo Zertucci, razor sharp picks, great cappers all around. Sean Dozier, Mitch Fearing, K. Paul VIP. We got Puzzler, aka Kanaska. We got J Rock. We got Ray Charles, Cynthia Paniagua. We got the Czar, Mr. Gogster, Yenny Toon, David Sharp in the house, Shavoy, Samuels, Bill McHugh, Jansen Bonson. We got Slats 45 wants me to try regulation bets instead of minus 1. I will not. But I hear you, Slats. That's not the issue here with my down a couple units in the NHL. The issue is me going for big scores with the dogs on the minus 1 line when I should just be taking them on the money line. I'd be up healthy. Chad Cannon ready to go. Vitalis. Yeah. Yes, Vitalis. We've been betting it nonstop. I'm on it again today. And, man, I was a little slow on the trigger. It was minus 110, when I woke up this morning. And I waited a couple hours. I got in around 8:30 and then went back because I was going to add a spot. I was so close to adding a spot. We'll talk about it. And I decided not to. And I looked, it was already minus 125 at Bet365. So people believing that. Wow, and it's trade deadline day, so we're going to get huge information as the day goes on. Wow, is that facts, Sean Dozier? That's huge. Absolutely huge. Huge news. Vucevic to the Bulls? There's Beats in the house. Those of you OG lobaggers, remember our man Beats. He sent video clips in. He's an OG lowbagger. Mr. Gogan says once Ullmark comes back, they will have a number 1. I believe Ullmark will be in goal tonight. And I have taken the under 6 with that belief. We will see. The taint play of the day is in. NC State, Colorado State, under 146. So who went the other way? It had to be someone with value. It had to be marketing, right? Who else could have gone the other way? We have the taint play of the day in. Taint play of the day in. All right. Thank you guys so much for joining us. And Gas says, yes, Greg Dar is the star of the barn, at least until Flint Stroll comes back. Yes, Greg Dar is absolutely spectacular. So once again, we'll roll into this, but Saturday is a huge day for horse racing. Florida Derby. And over on the West Coast, we have gas station's horse Greg Dar running. And I will be betting on him. Robert Allen ready to go. Rob Watkins says, take the Islanders today. I have. I got him at plus 105. I could have got him at plus 110. Hustle Wilson ready to get to work. Pink Eye Genie in the house. Okay, let's get to work. Polo this. Polo that. They gave him away for nothing. Polo this. Polo that says. Okay, well, let's get to work. We have a lot of work to do. This is the schedule for today's show. We are going to start with NHL. And there's a huge NHL card today. And I'm not going to spend too much time on each game. We're going to try to get through them quick enough. Then we have 5 NBA games. And then we have 4 NIT games. And I don't think we're going to get a chance to talk about the NCAA tournament more because of time. We'll see. If there is any time available, we will hammer it. Brooklyn Funk Project ready to get to work. Let's do it. Ray Charles says, I'm so happy after that Bulls news. There's Spencer Penny G, Spenny Penny Bombs in the house. And I know Spenny will be betting on Greg Dar on Saturday, as will I. Okay, let's get to work right now. And thank you guys all so much for joining us. We're going to start in the NHL. We're going to start with this Islanders-Bruins game. And when I went back to Bet 365, this Islanders game was down to plus 100. Now it's down to minus 105. So money coming in on the Islanders, and understandably so. This total opened up at 5.5. It was juiced to the under heavily, minus 135. And I thought about betting it. And I held off, and then it moved to 5. I know that Birdie's on that under 5.5 and minus 135. It's now at 5, and I'm not going to take it at a plus line of 5, but I understand why somebody would. Earl Sports Bets in the house as well. Vitalis is on the Bruins at minus 120, and I can understand that because they're coming off the 7 days due to a positive COVID test, and we've seen teams in all sports come back fine from these COVID breaks. It's not COVID why I'm betting the Islanders. It's that their defense, the Bruins defense, is being completely obliterated with injuries. So their last game was a 4-1 win over beleaguered Sabres a week ago. In the previous 3 games before that, this team managed just 3 goals. And the reason is they have 5 defensemen hurt. And when you have a bunch of defensemen hurt, a lot of people think, oh, well, there's going to be higher scoring games because their defense is hurt. They're not going to defend as well. And that's not the case. The case is that they're actually lower scoring games because there's no pinching. It's conservative play. The replacement defenders don't want to take risks. They don't want to lose their job. They want to play very conservative hockey. Also, they're replacement defensemen, so they're not getting the outlet passes. Some of them don't know exactly who on the team breaks for those big, blue line to blue line and more passes. So it's 5 defensemen that are hurt for the Bruins. Kevin Miller, Jeremy Lauzon, John Moore, Brandon Carlo, and Jared Tenorti. Now, Tenorti looks like he may return tonight, but I don't remember ever saying that any teams had 5 defensemen out. And this is our 4th year of capping together. They're also without second-line winner Andre Case, and that is a problem because they're getting no secondary scoring. David Krejci has 1 goal this year, their second-line centerman, who's a quality guy. So all you have to do, 1 goal, and that's to stop the perfection line. And people are having an easier job doing it this year than they did last year. So I'm on the Islanders. Let's talk about it a little more. Islanders 21-8-4, 8-7-2 on the road. Boston Bruins 16-8-4, 7-3-1. So I have, the plus 105 here. I have the under with a question mark, but I'm not going to take it at 5. And I was hesitant to take it at the minus 135, although I do understand. Vitalis, yes, the Bruins are going to go all out. Sure. Coming off a week COVID break. It's just that they're missing 5 defensemen. Again, I haven't said that in 4 years of doing this publicly with you every day. So, look, you are now or soon going to get a pick 'em on the Boston Bruins at home. But even there, they're just 7-3-1 this year. Earl Sports Bets is on the Rangers minus 120. That was a move I almost made. Excuse me. Let me pop that up. And look, I can understand why there's going to be money coming in on the Bruins. The early money is certainly coming in on the Islanders. Semyon Varlamov has been spectacular. 13-6-3, 2.17 goals against average, 923 saves. Maybe spectacular so much. He's been really good. 3 shutouts. Islanders power play 20.5%, 82.7% penalty killing. Bruins power play very strong, 25%, and their penalty killing is spectacular, 89.4%. Ooh, Gentile saying hello from Georgia. Thank you for joining us. John Chow, thank you, my friend. Yeah, and Spenny saying Bulls have landed Vucevic. So the Islanders coming off 2 straight wins over the Flyers on Saturday and Monday. They lost 6-3, 235-pound Anders Lee for the season, torn ACL. He was having an excellent season with 12 goals. He was a plus 11 in 27 games, but they haven't skipped a beat. They tried to replace him on the top line with 2016 first-round draft pick Kiefer Bellows. They seem to have settled on 34-year-old veteran Leo Komarov, which says, again, this team under Trotzy and Lou Lamoriello wants accountability and defense more than anything else. Komarov has 0 goals and 2 assists on the season, and he's on the first line because he's accountable and he's tough and he can, play defensive hockey. Mr. Gokster says rocking that first period under here. And Taint came in early in the show. Taint is up and about. Mr. Gokster says Bellows and Wallstrom are going to be studs. I think Bellows is going to be good, and I think Bellows will get more opportunities on that first line. So we've talked about it all year, and I don't want to spend too much time on this game, but the Corsi numbers for the Islanders are bad. They're really bad. And yet this is a good team. And leave it to 2 old-timers like Lamoriello and Trotzy to not care about the Corsi numbers and put together a team that is 21-8-4. J.G. Pajot, Jordan Eberle, 20 points. Nick Leddy, their defenseman, 21 points, 33 games. And Matthew Barzal, 25 points, 33 games. He will be on Team Canada. So that's how I get rolling. Islanders plus 105. Brady got plus 110. And look at that. Best bet today. Good. Great to see you. Thank you for joining us. Good. Got that good in the house. Birdie here. Best bet. Islanders minus a half. First period of plus 210. Wow. And Earl Sports Bets, who has a great NHL show himself. New York Islanders are really good and underrated. It's great to have Earl rolling with us. Thank you, Earl. Okay. And Gloria K says, take Islanders. I agree, Gloria. Okay, so then we have Rangers, Philly, and I want to speed this up a bit because we want NBA and spend some time on it. Because I was upset that I went 3-3 last night. There was some really strong capping in the chat, and I should have had a winning day in NBA. The Rangers, Flyers. Now, I want to take the Rangers. I want to fade the Flyers. But 5 games ago, the Rangers beat this team 9-0. Is that bulletin board material or what? This total opened up at 6. It's moved to 6.5. Interesting. You know how I love taking under 6.5. I don't. Ooh. And Shesty. Ooh. The Rangers opened up at plus 115. They're now minus 120. They were available for me at minus 115. So that was the option I had once I recognized what was going on. Mr. Ghost says over. Gloria K says over. Sharp money in the house. Captain 24/7 joining us. Skins fan forever. Ready to get to work. Ulysses Hayes, another spectacular NHL capper. So we're at Wells Fargo Center. Rangers 14-13-4, 7-7-1 on the road at Philadelphia Flyers 15-12-4, 7-6-3 at home. Igor Shesterkin is back. He's their number 1. Don't get it twisted. It's not Georgiev. It's Igor Shesterkin, and he's been hurt. And it's tricky backing a team when their goalie comes back for the first time. Although I'm doing that, somewhat when I'm taking the under 6 in the Pens game. Mitch Fearing says Artemi Panarin props have been hitting for me lately. Check those out tonight. We got Al Mack. Flyers are the 5th best team to back when coming off a loss over the last 3 years. Wow, that is a great article right there. So click on that odds link to check that out. Rangers have Shesty going. Carter Hart or Brian Elliott. Brian Elliott's outplayed Carter Hart. Carter Hart's been atrocious. I mean, he's part of the reason why this team is falling apart. Elliott's been a little bit better, but I don't trust him. But Carter Hart, 3.85 goals against average, 875 save percentage. Rangers power play 16.1%, penalty killing very strong at 86.9%. Flyers power play at 19.1%, their penalty killing at 74.5%. And David Sharp says, can you take the last 3 years into this COVID mess? You can take the amount of time that they've had Alan Vigneault as their coach. And his heart confirmed. Thank you, Ghoster. Okay, so Flyers have lost 3 straight and 4-5. I said last time these teams met, embarrassed these Flyers 9-0. This is a team that this Flyers team is clearly less than the sum of their parts. And it's likely going to cost them a playoff spot, likely going to cost Alain Vigneault his job. They're coming off a 4-3 loss at home to the Devils on Tuesday night. Our man Tease was at that game for his birthday. His daughter, Tease, OG Lobagger, his daughter, bought him tickets to the Flyers game, and he had to watch them go down 4-1 to the Devils. Devils are playing better. They have so much depth on offense, but they can't keep the puck out of their net. Nolan Patrick's been an enormous disappointment. Second overall pick in 2017, 3 goals, 3 assists in 31 games. Minus 15. I mean, it's probably too early to give up on him, but I imagine some people want to. JVR, Van Riemsdyk off to such a great start, but he's slowed to a crawl. 2 assists against the Devils last out, but 6 points the last 13 games. Rangers are very excited to have Shesty back. They've won 2 straight and 3 of 4. I'm hesitant to back them. I'm not going to because of that 9-0 whooping. Zibanejad got off to a slow start. He's finally rolling. His line mates Kreider and Buchnevich have eaten up as well. Buchnevich leads the team in scoring. Artemi Panarin back in action, 29 points in 20 games. If this team has a run in them, it will happen now. It will happen now. And Haley's just have to dump Patrick and JVR. Mr. Coach says, I don't see how this game stays under. Yenny Toon says, Vegas getting plus money. Sign me up. That's a very interesting spot, Yenny. Let's get to it. So I'm off of Flyers, Rangers. I did take the under 6 in Devils, Washington. I did take it. Under 6. Let me just see exactly what I got. And for some reason, I'm like, I bet it. And then I don't even know if yes, I did. I thought I was like, geez, did I even announce that I bet it? Under 6 and minus 120. Yes, I did. Brady said I cannot find an angle in this game unless you are straight fading the Flyers. That would be it. Okay, here we go. Devils, Capitals. Devils 12, 14, and 4, 8, 3, and 2 on the road at Washington Capitals, 27 and 4, 10, 4, and 2 at home. We're at Capitol Arena in Washington, D.C. We're going into NHL and NIT right after this. The Devils open up at plus 178. They're now plus 165. Money is coming on them, and for good reason. They're playing much better hockey. This total opened up at 6 and minus 120, and that's when I got it. It's now at minus 115. Rob Watkins says take Washington and the over. I've been hammering Washington of late, but I just don't see value with them at this price against the Devils team that's playing much better. Mackenzie Blackwood, 2.91 goals against average 908 save percentage, playing well. Ilya Samsonov starting to get rolling. He had dealt with a real tough case of COVID. Devils power play 14%, penalty killing 70 points. And it's Vanacek confirmed tonight. Damn, that hurts my under. Ugh. Damn, I did not want to hear that, Slats. Capitals power play 25.6%, penalty killing 81.1. The Devils are playing their best hockey this season. They won 2 straight 4-5, coming off 4-3 win at Philadelphia on Tuesday night. Igor Sharangovich went for a goal and an assist. He's starting to play a little better. Came over from the KHL with high hopes. They're doing this all without Nico Hischier. They have a lot of good young players. Yanni Kuokkanen, 22-year-old Finnish player drafted in the second round in 2016 by the Hurricanes, looks like the real deal. And any player named Yanni, has the potential of being excellent. After the great Yanni Ojanen of my youth, one of my favorite players growing up. He didn't make much of a splash in the NHL, but over in Europe, Yanni Ojanen was a superstar. 21-year-old first-round pick Ty Smith having an excellent rookie season on defense out of Spokane, the Spokane Chiefs. This guy looks very good. If anybody out there watching Ty Smith, this guy looks very good. I often get too excited about young defensemen because it's such a hard job. And they often can show what they can do offensively, but struggle defensively. So let's say the jury's still out on Ty Smith. We got Andrew G in the house talking about the Vucevic trade. Ish Kurt, Johnny K. Yes, Eller is out. Let's talk about that right now. But Jesper Bratt, Pavel Zacha, this is a team on the rise. Capitals had their 7-game win streak snapped by the Rangers on Saturday. This is a very deep, talented team. Ilya Samsonov seems to be rounding into form after a tough battle with COVID. I said that. Backstrom having a big year, 34 points in 31 games. Evgeny Kuznetsov They need more from him. He also had the late COVID. They have so many weapons. Vrana, Oshie, Wilson. As I said, as Gokster said in the chat, Ovechkin dealing with the lower body injury, questionable to go. Lars Eller out tonight with lower body injury. So I'm on the under 6 at -120, but I certainly don't like it as much. I really thought they were going to go there. I thought they were going to try to get Samsonov hot. That is not happening. Here we go, Al Mac, with another great article. This is Regulation Moneyline Market Trends. It's on odds.com right now. Rob Watkins, I don't think Lars is back tonight. I have him as out from my information. But check out that article. Birdie says, I would say this spot Washington would play down to the level of their opponent. This is where the Chara factor shows up. Use Washington, Pitt, and New York Islanders in the money line parlay. That's a really interesting idea. I like that, Birdie. Washington, Pitt, New York Islanders in the money line parlay. All right, let's keep rolling. We move on to Hurricanes at Columbus Blue Jackets. And, man, is this Hurricanes team different without Trocheck in the lineup? And I love Trocheck. I'm a huge Trocheck fan. And, man, do the Panthers need Trocheck now when Barkov goes down with an injury? All right, Carolina Hurricanes at Columbus Blue Jackets. And Hurricanes 21-7-3, 11-6-0 on the road at Columbus Blue Jackets 13-13, 7-7-6-5 at home, Nationwide Arena. Alex Nedeljkovic has looked very good. Maybe he's the answer for the Hurricanes in that. 1.96 goals against average, 930 save percentage, 2 shutouts. Looks very, very good. This is the 4th time in a row these teams are meeting each other. This total is at 5.5. It was at -115 to the under. It's still there. And let me just move over here quickly. And the money line, flip over here, of this spot is Columbus opening up at +145, and that's still where they stand. Slats 45 says Dougie Hamilton on a 12-game point streak. Yeah, he's absolutely rolling right now. I expect Nedeljkovic to be in goal just because he had a shutout last out, but it could be Reimer. Korpisalo is likely to be between the pipes for Columbus. And at this point, you have to say Tortorella is doing a shit job because he's not getting much out of players he was supposed to get a ton out of. The Canes' power play, awesome, 30.6%. Their penalty killing, 82.9%. The Jackets' power play, 14.8%, and penalty killing, 74.0%. Ulysses Hayes is taking Carolina on the money line. I get it. I absolutely get it. The Jackets won the first 2 meetings 3-2. The Canes came back to shut out the Jackets on Monday night 3-0. And Nedeljkovic's second career shutout. Hurricanes have earned a point in 11 of their last 12. Dougie Hamilton assist on Netch's goal to extend his point streak to 12 games. That's the longest by a defenseman in franchise history, topping the record he shared previously with Mark Howe. Mark Howe, Gordy's son, Gordy's boy. They're playing good hockey, but no Trocheck, no Teravainen, and I don't want them as a big favorite. Svechnikov and Stahl, their scoring pace is completely slowed. Sebastian Aho continues to play well. Columbus has been a very tricky cap all year. I thought they were going to be ripe for overs. I got off that train. I have a nice ROI on it, but I got off that train. If you had told me that the Jackets would be getting close to a point a game from Oliver Bjorkstrand and Jack Razlovic, I'd be like, man, they must have so much depth. They must be getting so much scoring. But who would have thought Patrick Laine? So in the last 13 games for Laine, he scored a point in 2 of them. Ooh. God, something's wrong with this kid, and Tortorella doesn't have the serum. He has 13 points, and he's a -10 in 23 games with the Jackets. Somebody would be getting an open hand slap from me, but I wouldn't berate him I really think you keep things in-house. Like if I was going to open hand slap one of my players, it wouldn't be in front of everybody. It'd be in front of his teammates, of course. But it wouldn't be in front of the media. Tortorella does everything through the media. He embarrassed these guys publicly. I would just embarrass him privately. After scoring 20 goals last year, Zach Werenski is 3 this year. Domi has 12 points in 33 games. And I thought French sniper Alexander Texier, and I don't think I've ever said French sniper before if it wasn't a movie. I thought he's going to be a huge piece to this puzzle. 4 goals in 30 games, moved to the taxi squad. There's Alex Ramirez in the house. All right, next up, Leafs, Senators. I'm not going to take the Leafs against the Senators because they play so hard against the Senators. It's one of my rules. Razor Sharp talking about that Vucevic to the Bulls wild. So I'm not going to. But this would be the spot. A rested Leafs team that's not playing very well, but they snapped their 3-game losing streak. French snapper. That's a good, yeah. Ulysses Hayes says Torts is a great coach. Who takes the captain off of Trevor Linden's jersey? Torts does. Canadian Tire Center, Ottawa, Ontario. Jack Campbell gets a start. 4-0. It knows he's been starting, so this isn't a surprise because Freddie Anderson's got a lower body injury. I think he comes in and looks good here. Who's in net for Ottawa, Mr. Ghoster? Is Gustafsson going to go back-to-back nights? Leafs 27.7% power play, 76.1% penalty killing. We're going to get into NBA and NIT here shortly. We're just trying to get through this. TJ Parks, my man. I can't. I don't want any. This one thing that we watch, and this isn't something Canadian cappers do, because we know that the Senators come to play against the Leafs. They just do it. It doesn't matter how bad they are. They always come to play against the Leafs, and the Leafs always kind of seem to look past them. And I just stay off. If I was a better capper, I'd be betting the Senators in all these spots, which I have fear. Oh, wow. Mr. Ghost says Hogberg off the IR. Look, if Hogberg comes in off the IR, how do you not take the Leafs minus 1.5? I mean, there's no market value there. The Leafs, the Toronto money line opened up at minus 250. It's now minus 315. Okay, forget it. Look, I don't want any of that stuff. Brady says, I'm on the Leafs. Too much value here on the Sens team that's playing real well. I get it. North Ender in the house. Great to have you. The Leafs have been off since snapping their 3-game losing streak on Saturday. This is a fresh hockey team. And the Czar cashed for the Sens last night. Great bet. The big four, Marner, Matthews, Tavares, Nylander, have slowed down of late. They're getting way more production than I thought of from Spezza. My goodness. And Thornton, I guess. Freddie Anderson hurt. Senators playing the best hockey of the year, coming off sweeping the Flames in 2 home games Monday and Wednesday. Very tough spot for them. Second half of a back-to-back. Third game in 4 nights against a team that hasn't played since Saturday. A good no. I can't take the under with Hogberg. Let's see what this under is. And also, these teams, they score on each other. But with Campbell in goal, you could have more confidence in it. The under at 6.5. You know, it's just Hogberg I can't trust. But this team, man, playing well. Kachuk, Batherson, Stutzla, Norris, Brown, Tierney, Dadonov. You can build your defense around Shabbat. Now we have Sabres, Penguins. I expect Ullmark to be in goal. I'm on the under 6. I expect him to change the energy in that dressing room. And Casey DeSmith, 7-3-0, 2.1 goals against average, 919 Sabres percentage. He's been out playing, Jari. Sabres, Pittsburgh, PPG, Paints Arena. Sabres 6-20-4, 4-9-2. They were absolutely atrocious. I watched every second of that game last night. The Penguins 19-11-2, 12-3-1. They're just bad. They are so bad. Wow, Spenny Pennybomb saying 76 making a late push for Lowry. Yes, let us know the latest information on the trade deadline as we go. Sabres power play 24.1%, 77.9% penalty killing. Gloria K, we just keep cashing. Vitalis gave us the stats. The Sabres have lost by more than a goal 62% of the time this year. I got the Pens minus 1.5 and minus 110. If you wanted it right now, well, let's see what I would get right now. If I want it right now, minus 130 it's gone up to. Everybody's betting it. Pens, the Sabres power play good, but looking worse and worse. And Fournier to the Celtics. I like that. Penalty killing 77.9%. Penguins 17.9%, 76.5% penalty killing. Jackson Mayo says, what's the lock of the day? We're going to go into best bets. We're going to talk NBA and NIT too. Let's just get through this NHL card. Sabres lost their 15th straight game last night, 5-2 to the Penguins. Tokarski made his first NHL start in 5 years, and he didn't look good. I thought he was going to look better than he looked. 37 saves, but he misplayed a ton. Sabres have been outscored 63-30 during this slide. Taylor Hall looked awful. Giveaway after giveaway. No team's picking up Taylor Hall at the deadline. No team should. God, he would be a tough guy to coach. The Sabres were fortunate to score 2 goals. The final score could have easily been 7-0. Ullmark is capable of coming and making big saves. Penguins are without Evgeny Malkin and Teddy Bluger. They're also without Zucker and Brandon Tanev. They're without 4 forwards, without 2 centers. And still the Sabres were just awful. Rob Watkins says Pens win 4-1. That's what I hope. That's what I expect. So, yeah, that's the move there. We got Dutch Boy fresh in the house. Perfect timing. We're going to get an NBA very soon. Thanks for joining us, Dutchy. So I have 2 looks here. I'm on the under 6 and minus 120. And I'm on the Penguins minus 1.5 at minus 110. Let's see what that total is right now here. in that Pittsburgh. Yeah, it's still a minus 120. But you might want to wait until Ullmark's in net. This is all predicated on Ullmark being in goal. If he's not, I'm going to panic. 8 p.m. Eastern, Florida Panthers at Chicago Blackhawks. This is, I think, the first time I've bet on the Blackhawks all year, which is a mistake. They've had a ton of value. I got them at plus 115. They're now at plus 105. Panthers 28-4, 10-4-1 on the road at Blackhawks 15-3-5, 8-4-2 at home. United Center, Chicago, Illinois. I say fade the Panthers without Barkov. I say we fade them every game without Barkov. Every single game moving forward. Their record says 28-4. And we're going to get value fading them. They should not be the favorite on the road against the Blackhawks without Alexander Barkov. And there we go. Razor Shop giving us the exact deal there. Thank you, Razor. Sergei Bobrovsky, was he going to be in goal? If he is, I hope he's in net because he's not worth the money he's getting. 12-4-2, 2.96 goals against average, 903 save percentage. Kevin Lankinen, 11-7-4, 2.83 goals against average, 915 save percentage. The last March, I guess I was there a year, but 2016 March, I was here at the United Center watching Sweet 16 Elite 8. God, one of the reasons I was so excited to come back to Toronto was because I could drive down to all these incredible American cities like Chicago, Boston, Pittsburgh. They're all so close. Pittsburgh's 5 hours away from me. Oh, God. Buffalo, Detroit. Okay. Bobrovsky's confirmed. Hubangin in the house. Panthers power play 26% power play. Watch that drop without Barkov. 86% penalty killing. Watch that drop without Barkov. Barkov's such an accountable forward. Shaquille Bell on Panthers first period over 1.5. Saratoga, Mr. Gogs. Oh my God! My whole plan coming back was to get to go to these spectacular American cities, and that I love. I absolutely love. I mean, you can even go down to that 3-city spot there where it's Louisville. Oh, you start at Louisville for Churchill Downs. But Louisville, Memphis is right there. Louisville, Memphis, Nashville. Okay. Let's keep going. Jojo Rich in the house. Matt Shedden. We're going to be getting into NBA and NIT very soon here. We're just going to get through this. I'm on the Blackhawks plus 115. And I say, we fade Florida every game with Barkov out. They've lost 2 straight and 3 of 4, and just their record alone is going to give us value. Coming off a 3-2 loss to these Blackhawks Chicago on Tuesday, this team didn't have much depth, and now they lose Barkov. You take him off that first line, and you replace him with Acciari. That's a huge drop-off. Acciari, 8 points in 24 games. Barkov has 37 points in 31 games, and he's a plus 11. They now have the 28th ranked first line in the NHL. And even with Barkov, I don't think this team is nearly as good as their record. Blackhawks snapped their 4-game losing streak in their 3-2 win over these Panthers on Tuesday night. 2 of those 4 losses came against these Panthers. They were 0-4 against these Panthers this season before that victory. They hate these Panthers. There's Champino in the house. We're going to get there very soon. Very, very soon. And I love Barkov. That's another thing. I love him. Patrick Kane having an MVP season. Kevin Lankinen, pleasant surprise in goal. DeBrincat, Kubalik have proven they are top-level snipers. Boakfist, Connor Murphy have helped out Duncan Keith in defensive core enormously. Ulysses Hayes on the Florida game under. That's a interesting look. Are we getting a 6.5? We're getting a 6.5. Wow. Is Lankinen, you know what? Verhaeghe's been better than I expected. Hornqvist has been awesome, but I don't think. And Ekblad maybe coming into his own as a 24-year-old, Rob. Johnny K liking the over. Do we have Lankinen confirmed? I think Ulysses is onto something if Lankinen's confirmed. Can somebody confirm Lankinen for me? Because I can't do this without, and maybe we can't confirm. But Subban's been better. I think you're right, Ulysses. I think you're absolutely right. Rob Watkins saying no. I think you're right, Ulysses. I do not see this Florida team scoring much. And if Lankinen's in net, the problem is Bobrovsky on the other side. I like the 6.5. 7 goals are going to be scored in this game without Barkov. Okay, no, Rob, we'll talk about this, and maybe I should start. Anytime you say no, I should just cut it off of my card. But this is my first edition. I'm going to roll with I'm going to roll with Ulysses Hayes here on this under 6.5. Jesus A is taking Florida to win. I think they're an overrated team, and now they've lost one of the best players in the league. Okay, let's move on. 8 p.m. So I'm on the Blackhawks plus 115. I just added the under 6.5 at minus 125. Now we move on to Red Wings and Nashville Predators. I want to. Yes, I agree. I agree, Bertie. I agree. Rob Hopkins, I haven't bet Chicago all year. I do believe this is the first time I've bet them. Detroit Red Wings, 10-19-4, 3-11-1 on the road at Nashville Predators, 15-17-1. We're almost done NHL. We're going to hop into NBA here in a second, and then NIT. Detroit, Nashville, this total at 5.5, juice to the under. I completely understand why somebody would hammer this under. Our Marlon Z, who's in our chat, he hammered this under last game. It was a 2-0 win for the Predators. But the Detroit hasn't scored now in 2 straight games, and I don't like going back to the well. Skywalker in the house. Great to see you, Skywalker. Nice. Skywalker joining us. With this spot, I don't like going back to the well with totals. It's something I kind of stay away from. Grice expected to be in net. He's actually looked a little better than his numbers. Cerro, 7-6, 2.58 goals against average, 919 save percentage. He's been good. Wings power play bad, 11.5%. Penalty killing's awful, 71.3%. Preds power play 20.2%. Penalty killing 71.8%. I wanted to fade the Preds nonstop with Yossi and Ellis out of the lineup. Yossi's back. Ellis is still out. Borowiecki's out, but Yossi's back, and that's a big deal. Red Wings have lost 2 straight, being shut out in both, coming off a 2-0 loss to these Predators on Thursday night. They continue to play without Tyler Bertuzzi, out long-term, upper body injury. Johnny Bernier, day-to-day, their goalie. He's been excellent this year. Grice has left something to be desired. Dylan Larkin and Anthony Mantha both disappointed me enormously this year. The only wing that surpassed expectations is Filip Hronek. They score just 2.15 goals a game. They allow 1.6 more than they score. So the Predators handled the massive injuries better than I expected. So they still have Ellis and Borowiecki out. On offense, they're without Duchesne, Kunin, and Richardson. I maintain they're a better team without Duchesne. I'm telling you, Duchesne's eating Kraft dinner and hot dogs right now as we speak, playing video games in his boxers. He does not care about hockey. Mr. Ghost says Mantha's been a bust. I hate that. Rob Watkins says Preds. I get it if you back him. I'm staying away from this spot. Birdie says Preds do beat teams below 500 for the most part. Nothing in the game unless you like Preds minus 1.5. All right. Yes, Elijah Freeman. A very good parlay was just dropped by Birdie. A very good one by Birdie. If Birdie wants to share that again. I'm going to keep rolling here because we want to get into NBA. So Blues, Wild. Blues 16-11-5, 12-4-2 Wild, 20-10-1, 12-3 at home. at home. Excel Energy Center, St. Paul, Minnesota. Jordan Binnington, 10-8-4, 2.83 goals against average, 9.05 save percentage. I expect Kaapo Kakkonen to be back in net. Blues power play 19.2%, 73.3%. Wild 10% power play, 85.3% penalty killing. After beating the Sharks in back-to-back games, Blues got a rude welcome in Vegas. Monday night, 5-1. They just missed Colton Parayko so much. I said I would not back them until Parayko came back, and I haven't been fading them enough without Parayko. 6'6", 230-pound Colton Parayko. They miss him desperately. He's back practicing. He'll be back probably next week. They lost Gunnarsson for the year. They've been playing without Barbashev, Sundqvist, Bozak, Steen. They just got back Robert Thomas and Zach Sanford. Matt Randall, it's great to be back in action with everybody. I miss you guys so much. Live, Monday to Friday, 11 a.m. We're back, baby. Wild coming off two very underwhelming wins over the Ducks. They've now won 10 straight at home. They're on the second half of a back-to-back here, playing their third game in 4 nights. Is it time to fade them without Parayko in the lineup? I can't do it. I'm just going to stay off of it. The Blues have gone from plus 110 to plus 100, and I get it. They have Zach Parise out on the COVID list. Marcus Foligno has been so important in this team out with lower body injury. Matt Dumba might come back tonight. That'd be a big boost. So I'm off there. 8:30 p.m. Eastern. The Lightning are 24-6-2, and yet I feel like they've been playing underwhelming hockey. It's strange to see how good their record is. Dallas Stars have been terrible this year. 10-11-8, 6-5-6 at home. American Airlines Center, Dallas, Texas. Vasilevsky has been. He's going to win another Vezina. 1.83 goals against average, 933 save percentage. He's been unbelievable. Tampa Bay opening up and Okay, so we just have this game and one more game, and then we move into NHL. Tampa Bay opening up at minus 180. That's where they stand right now. The total sitting here at 5.5, heavily juiced to the under. Jake Edinger likely to be in goal. He's being better than Khudobin. They have some issue with Khudobin right now. And if there's Birdie. So that was the parlay, that Pittsburgh, Washington, New York Islanders Moneyline parlay. C-Mac just says Lightning just cruising along. They sure are. Lightning 28.7% power play, 83% penalty killing. Can you imagine? They're 24-6-2 without Kucherov, without an Art Ross Trophy winner. Stars power play 23.5%, penalty killing 77.2. Lightning have won 5 straight. They're now alone atop the NHL standings, coming off a 2-1 win here at Dallas. 5-game winning streak. I guess the Lightning have set such a high bar as the defending Stanley Cup champions. Have been so good over the last 5 years. I see them playing. I'm like, kind of underwhelming. Victor Hedman leads the team in scoring with 33 points. He's a plus 15 on his way to another Norris Trophy. Stamkos and Braden Point are right behind him. Palat having a career year, 29 points in 32 games. Sergachev has been excellent with 21 points in 32 games. You think Montreal would make that Druin trade now? Ryan McDonough dealing with a lower body injury. Stars started the year on COVID pause, and they've just never been able to get going. They've been playing without Tyler Seguin, which I don't know if that hurts them. If that, I'm not high on Tyler Seguin. But they can't seem to get Radulov and Ruby Hintz healthy for extended periods. That's what's hurt them. Ben Bishop being hurt all season long. That's what's hurt them. These are crucial players. They have Hintz back right now. Pavelski's carried this team in a way that you would expect Jamie Benn to. Pavelski, 14 goals, 15 assists, 29 points in 29 games. He's a plus 11. Ben has 5 goals, 10 assists for 15 points. God, I would open hand slap Ben nonstop. So I'm off this game. I just don't see value. I expect the Lightning to win, but I've not been that impressed by them. But their record says I should be. Then we finish up with the Golden Knights of Colorado Avalanche. Money coming in fast on the Avalanche. This total, by the way, is at 5.5. They usually play each other tight, but I'm even hesitant to take the under as well. I could have got the Avalanche at a nice price. It's up to minus 180 at Bet365. They opened to minus 160. They went down to minus 155 overnight, and I could have taken them, but I'm not going to. Bleds, absolutely. 9 p.m. Eastern, Golden Knights 22-7-1, 9-5-0. You talk about the Lightning just rolling. Look at this Golden Knights team. I said over and over again, and we're going to get an NBA right now, right after this, NBA and NIT. I said to everybody, I was like, they're so built around Shea Theodore, who did. These are the Noah's Trophy candidates. Hedman wins it over Petrie and Theodore. Theodore, I was saying, as soon as him or Peter Angelo gets hurt, watch this team struggle. And they just roll. They're just a good hockey team. No matter how angry I am that they've had all this success, and I've been a Canucks fan for 40 years watching this team just be shit year after year after year. Ball Arena, Denver, Colorado. Avalanche 28-3 without Cale Makar for 13 games is a spectacular record. Laner 5-1-1, 2.54 goals against average, 898 save percentage. Maybe they go back with Fleury. Philip Grubauer has been awesome, but they need a backup because there is a rumor going around. That Pavel Francouz is not coming back this year. Knights 19.2% power play, 84.4% penalty killing. Avs 23.4% power play, 87.4% penalty killing. Desar says, I love Angry Jimmy today. This isn't Angry Jimmy. This is lack of sleep, Jimmy. We had a family issue, and everything's fine. Everything's okay, so please don't worry. But I had to go to the hospital, take a family member to the hospital, and then you're not allowed to stay in the hospital with your family member. So then I had to sit in the car and study and cap. And, we have young kids, so we had to get them down very early and then figure everything out. And then I had the baby alone in my 2005 Toyota Corolla capping and feeding in a cold Corolla till, 4:30 in the morning. Then we come back home. And so it's just when I haven't slept, I get a little emotional. It's just emoting. I'm just emoting here. Okay. Knights power play 19.2%, 84.4% penalty killing. Avs power play 23.4%, 87.4% penalty killing. Knights have won 6 of 7. Look, they handled the injury to Pietrangelo very well. Now they have Max Pacioretty out. I think of Max Pacioretty as a China doll. He's just broken all the time, and he's proven me wrong this year. They're coming off a dominant 5-1 win at home over the Blues. Mark Stone has been incredible this year. I thought they overpaid Mark Stone. Look, I have this issue with Vegas because of their success. Look, I'm a Canucks fan. I don't know if you can hear the sirens outside. I live in Parkdale. I need more success in my life. Everyone, by the way, I said this on the show earlier today. I've been in Parkdale for 10 years. I have not seen a beautiful woman once. Not in 10 years. And it's warm outside now. Everybody else in the world sees hot women in skirts. And 10 years of the nastiest look. This is the ugliest community in Canada. Okay. The Knights have nothing to prove in this spot. The Avalanche have an enormous amount to prove. They're healthy and playing excellent hockey. They had their 7-game winning streak snapped in a 5-4 shootout loss at Arizona, but that's just because Jonas Johansson is a sieve that they shouldn't have traded for. As I said, Francouz has been out all year, and now he might not come back. Grubauer's been spectacular, but we saw what happened in the playoffs last year. They had Michael Hutchinson in goal in a Game 6 of the Western Conference. Oh, no, it was to get into the Western Conference Finals. Sorry, of the Western Conference semifinals. Fuck, man, that was about as angry as I've been. Okay, Hunter Miska couldn't fulfill the job. Johansson looked like he did in Buffalo. Awful. This team is stacked. I expect them to win the Stanley Cup. I expect the Colorado Avalanche to win the Stanley Cup. And the only teams that I legitimately think can beat them are the Lightning and the Capitals. Okay. Christian Casanda says Regent Park is worse. Look, I used to roll through Regent Park to go to auditions back in my stand-up comedy days and acting days. And, man, I saw attractive women in Regent Park. Not here, man. Not in Parkdale. Not once in 10 years. Just a hideous, hideous community. And the hookers are gone. It makes me almost long for the hookers. Crack houses are still here, though. They're still here. Okay, let's move on. So that's my NHL card. All right, let's move on to NBA. We got great NBA cappers in the chat. Let's go. First off, let's review action. I only made one addition, and that's a tale of Ulysses Hayes. Although I really do think Birdie's Moneyline parlay that he's on makes a ton of sense, and it's a nice number because there's not huge favorites that he's on. But I'm on, and let's just review everything right now very quickly. I'm on the Islanders at plus 105. And I didn't move on the under there. I did not move on the Rangers just because they beat the Flyers 9-0 last out. I'm on the under 6 at minus 120, Devils, Washington Capitals, and I don't love it. I was hoping that Samsonov would be in net, and he's not, but I'm on it. Then I am on the Pittsburgh minus 1.5 and minus 110. We're going to fade the Sabres for the rest of the season. And I thought that about the Predators until they faced the Detroit Red Wings. But we're going to fade the Sabres for the rest of the season. We'd like it to do it on the minus 1 line, but if we have to do it on the puck line, we'll do it on the puck line. Penguins minus 1.5 and minus 110. And I'm on the Pitt Buffalo under 6. And if you can wait on that bet because we need Ullmark in net. I'm on the Blackhawks at plus 115, and I tailed Ulysses Hayes on the under 6.5 and minus 125 in that. Barkov out. And that's all my action for NHL. All right. Let's get to work. NBA. And by the way, the chat was so good yesterday in NBA. And we talked about that fishy line in the Nuggets-Raptors game. One thing that I've got to be able to change is that when we suss out, there's something wrong here. Why do I say, you know what, I'm going to stay away like a pussy-ass bitch instead of going, there's something fishy here. We take the other side like a capper, like a great capper would do. Instead, I get scared. What happened to the big balls? Why do they go away? We sense something's wrong with a line in the market. Why do I run away? We knew the market was telling us the Raptors are going to win this game. But I stayed away. It is what it is. All right, we have Dutch Boy Fresh coming in with the freshest look We're coming off a 3-3 day. Let's start with Dutch's freshest look here. We'll start with that game. Great to have Dutchy in the chat. Let's move over to that Sixers-Lakers game. We'll start with the late game, Lakers-Sixers, just because we have Dutch giving us the freshest look on Tobias Harris over 22.5 points from our Dutch boy fresh. A must-follow on Twitter. Rob Watkins saying, don't touch Miami today because making trades to be shorthanded tonight. Yes, this is one of those spots. I haven't moved on anything in NBA. But Harris is rolling. Let's talk about that game first. Sixers, Lakers. Let's move over there right now. Dutchy doing shows over at Who Bangin' Sports right now. I'll be doing he's doing shows starting next week at midnight Eastern. And I will be doing the Monday night midnight show with them. Get me ready to go for my show Tuesday morning. It's perfect. Works out perfect for me. Jojo Rich in the house. Okay, so in that spot, Lakers, Sixers. Sixers open up at -4.5. Now they're -6. This total opens up at 211.5, and it's shot up to 215.5. Ooh-wee. Wow. All right. Ulysses on Golden State Moneyline. We're going to get there. Jerry Beatty says, I called Clippers first half here on the show yesterday. That was a great bet. That was another thing. You guys on the Clippers got me off of the Spurs, but I didn't move on the Clippers. Okay. All right, let's go. Sixers, 31-13, 12-9 on the road. At the Lakers, 28-16, 14-9 home at Staples Center, Los Angeles, California. Sixers pace last 5, 17th in the association, 98.78 possessions a game. Lakers pace 8th at 100.60 possessions a game. And I love Dutch giving us his freshest look here in the chat. This is how we defeat the juice. We work together, and this is what makes this show special is the chat right there. We have the Taint play of the day. We'll go over that again. We have Dutch's freshest look. We got Alex Ramirez, Spidey play of the day. That's how we succeed. We work together. The Sixers have won 3 straight, 5 of 6 since MVP candidate Joel Embiid went down with a knee injury. Very impressive work from this club. Tobias Harris has been the team's leading scorer in 5 of the 6 games. They're coming off a 108-98 win at Golden State. Harris finished with 25 points, 13 boards. Ben Simmons added 22 points, 8 boards. Seth Curry set out after spraining his left ankle last Wednesday. He's questionable to play, as is Danny Green. And what happens when you take Curry and Danny Green out of the lineup is that Tobias Harris gets those outside shots, and he needs to take them, and this is a very smart look. This look makes a ton of sense that Dutchy's on. So Dutchy's on Tobias Harris over, and Dutchy got over 22.5. All right, let's talk about the Lakers. They've lost 3 straight, the last 2 by double digits without LeBron. They're coming off a 128-111 loss to the Pelicans. Harrell goes for 18 points. Kuzma, Markieff, Morris each scored 16. Kuzma added 10 and 7 with that. Here we go from Al Mack. Lakers are the best team to back on the under this season. We know as soon as LeBron went over there, we're like, oh man, we're gonna hit unders with the Lakers because he's a slow-moving dude these days. But I mean, look, he can run. He's like, what did they call him? A house that runs like a gazelle? I was never going to sit here and hate on LeBron. Never. You'll never hear any hating on LeBron from me. I think the NBA is extremely lucky to have him. We got great superstars in North American sports, great ones. And in NHL, we're so lucky to have Sidney Crosby. NBA, so lucky to have Braun. Especially, I don't want to get into it after losing Kobe. We need superstars like them. Just makes the world an easier place to live in. Schroeder scored 15 points. Wesley Matthews had 14. The Lakers went 18 of 37 from 3. They hit 48.6%, and they get blown out. That's how bad this team is without LeBron and AD. Marcus Gasol is close to returning. He could be back tonight. I'm very curious if he is. Vincente Gigante, my guy Vincente in the house. Great to see you. YVK says, Jim, put some on Lakers to win it all. It's funny. I have not made other than MVP, I've not made – oh, no, I have. I have the Sixers to win the East at plus 550. That's my only NBA look. Rob Watkins says Gasol can barely move. Okay, so he's not going to be back soon. No futures bets for me. Oh, Young Vaughn. Okay. Of course, Young Vaughn, OG Lowbagger in the house. Sorry, I missed that from YVK. Young Vaughn in the house. Respect. Okay. There we go. So at this point, at this number, I missed the boat on taking the Sixers, and we want to see what kind of movements happen because these two teams are going to be making trades. And I think that Dutch has a spectacular look on Tobias Harris over 22.5 points. So Dutch sharing his freshest look on with us. And why? Oh, and Young Vaughn has Sixers, Lakers, my finals picks. I love it. Torrey Coker in the house, and Rob Watkins said he's just old and slow. Look, I like LeBron. I like him a lot. Good player, spectacular player. Come on, and I like him as a guy. Okay, let's move on. 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Portland Trailblazers. We only opened with the Sixers Lakers just because we had our Dutch boy fresh in the chat, giving us his freshest look. Glenn Elliott, man, has Nets Jazz final. Nash and Nets win. David Sharp giving us David Sharp, by the way, another great follow on Twitter. 76ers 7-1 full game and at the half against the spread since the All-Star break. Robert Allen says, I'll leave that up here and let you guys read it, but I think the Lakers had time to finally adjust not having LBJ and AD. But you know what? I don't know, Robert Allen, because if you shoot 48% from three, you should win the basketball game, especially if you take 38 threes or 36 threes. Okay, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Portland Trailblazers 25-18, 11-9 on the road at the Miami Heat, 22-22, 12-11 at home. We're going to break down these last four NBA games and head over to the NIT. We have the Taint Play of the Day from our Matt Randall, another great follow on Twitter. American Airlines Arena, Miami, Florida, and that's the Taint Play of the Days in the NIT. Blazers 23rd in pace, 96.30 possessions a game. Heat 29th in pace at 94.24 possessions a game. MMA Locker Room taking the Sacramento Kings at -2. Love having MMA Locker Room in here. Yeah, Splinter Records, of course. Can I get a shout out? Splinter Records in the house. Thank you for joining us. Almax says it's a Sixer spot for sure. Yeah, but I think I would have loved that 4.5. We destroyed the market move in that Grizzlies game. 4.5 went to 7. Now that was obviously because Shea was not in the lineup. Bleds W says Dwight Howard might show off tonight. You're right. He might show out. Oh, the Woj in the house. We got the Woj in the house with Lakers team total under. Now, we did start with the Lakers game. For those of you joining us right now. Ooh. Matt Shedden laughing at Dwight Howard and his giant ass. Let's go. Blazers have lost 2 straight. They're coming off a 116-112 loss at home to Brooklyn on Tuesday. This total opened up at 219. It's now down to 218.5. The spread here opened up at 4 and is now down to 3. And one of the leading indicator offshore books has moved it to 2.5. So money coming in on Portland. And I get it. Ah, nice. Long shot in the house. Nice. From Ladner, British Columbia. Ladner, I miss the West Coast. God, we've been in lockdown for so long. Everybody in Vancouver going out for dinner. Ugh. Okay. Silent jumped on Sixer trifecta when the first line dropped. Great job, Silent. Sharp dude. Sharp dude. Champino says might fade everything, go Lakers. Ladner, BC in the house. Okay. Blazers lost 2 straight, coming off 116-112 loss at home to Brooklyn on Tuesday. Enes Kanter goes for 19-19-6. Lillard goes for 22-9. Talk about a Brooklyn Nets team that's soft inside, letting Enes Kanter take a dump on your lawn. Who lets Enes Kanter go for 19-19? Team with no inside presence. Lillard and McCollum went a combined 10 of 35 from the field. The Nets held the Blazers to 21 points in the fourth quarter and held Lillard scoreless in the fourth. The game before, the Blazers suffered their worst loss in franchise history. This is a team that wants to go out on the road. They lost 132-92 to the Mavs. 2 players removed from the lineup before tip-off, Anthony Simmons and Nazir Little entering the league's health and safety protocol. And Yusuf Nurkic expected to be back at the end of the month. Yeah, Splinter Records, sure. Shout out. I haven't checked out your channel, so I can't give a – I can't. But you know what I'll do is I'll copy and paste it. I will check out your channel. And then I can give, a legitimate vouch. Because I these guys roll with me. We're a very transparent, accountable group, and I'll check it out though for sure, and then I'll let everybody know what I think tomorrow, my man. Okay. All right, let's go. And everyone talking about Stipe and the big fight coming up. Okay, let's go. Blazers, Heat. Right when it looked like the Heat had turned their season around, they go on a 4-game losing streak with the last 3 coming at home. They shot 41% from the field and 28% from 3 during that slide. Miami had won 11-12. It looked like they were coming together. Let's see. Al Mack has the Heat are the 4th worst team against the spread in the NBA when coming off a loss. Man, check out that article. It's a very, very, very good one. I love it. Thank you, Al, for sharing that. Silence says, logic tells you to bet Miami, but how can you back them in their current form? I had to pass on this one. To me, I think that this is a spot where Lillard and McCollum can get right in Miami. Sharp Money says, Blazers. I think so. So the Heat are coming off a 110-100 loss at home to Phoenix on Tuesday. Kendrick Nunn goes for 25 points. Bam, 15. Butler, 14 and 11. Kelly Olynyk plays the first 9 minutes of the game and then sits the rest of the half. Then plays the first 6 minutes of the third quarter, then doesn't come back. He went 0 for 6. Not making us look good up here in Canada. Goran Dragic missed the last 2 games. This is questionable play with a back injury. Avery Bradley dealing with a calf injury. Yeah, Silent, I think that is a very interesting look, backing Dame or McCollum on the prop market. Let's just take a very quick look and see what that is right now here. Very, very – oh, it's not up here. So why don't we go over to FanDuel and see what they're hanging. Alex Ramirez had Kings +3 yesterday. Nice job. Almac says all over Blazers here. North Ender saying website is fire. Great write-ups, Almac. Thank you. That's it. If you want to know how to support the show, it's being here and capping with us, but also going over to odds.com and checking out what we've got over there. That's how you support it. Well, I'll never ask for anything, any kind of anything other than that sort of thing. So thank you if you guys can do that for us. And wow, they pulled Trailblazers Heat off the board. Dutch Boy Fresh has Dame time at 28.5. They pulled it off the board, so there must be trades. There must be trades coming. But I can still bet the Blazers, and the trade's got to be on the Blazers side of things. MMA Locker Room has Dame over 4.5 threes. Matt Shedden says CJ due for a big game tonight. Yeah, I like this idea of deciding between Dame and CJ props, although that's what destroyed my record. Totals and sides, I'm sitting here almost even for the year. It's just props that have hurt me bad. Oh, thank you, Silent. Thank you, man. And then the Blazers are probably the play. And the fact that it's been taken off the board at FanDuel makes me think that there's a move. Oh, wow. Jeez, they've moved it to 1.5. Bet365 just moved it to 1.5. All right, I'm too late to the party, man. I'm too late to the party. All right. I can't take him when everybody else got that much better of a line. Damn. Okay. Let's move on to Wizards, New York Knicks, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Let's break this down. New York opens up as 2.5-point favorites. That moves to 3. This total opens up at 226.5 and has gone down to 224.5. Mr. Bubbles in the house taking Randall over 24.5. And he likes the overs in Wizard Knicks and Warriors Kings. Let's get that up here from Mr. Bubbles in the house. All right, let's keep rolling. Loyalty Chisel says, why so scared to pull the trigger, analyze every game, and put one play in? Loyalty Chisel, how long have you been watching? So, Loyalty Chisel, let's just go over my 7 bets on the card so far. Loyalty Chisel, why so scared? Man, come near me. Got a sharpened chopstick in my hand. You'll be the one that's scared. Islanders plus 105. Devils, Capitals under 6 and minus 120. Penguins minus 1.5 and minus 110. Pitt, Buffalo under 6 and minus 120. Blackhawks money line at plus 115. And the under 6.5 in Chicago, Florida. There's 7. Jesus. Man, I wish you were close enough for me to force feed my balls in your mouth, Loyalty Chisel. Off. Why so scared? Only one bet. Look, if you're not going to listen, go somewhere else. Wizards, Knicks. Wizards, Knicks. So we're back at 3 and 224.5. All right, let's go. Madison Square Garden, New York. Wizards pace last 5, second in the NBA, 104.9 possessions a game. Knicks 26th at 95.41 possessions a game. Wizards have lost 2 straight and 7 of 8. They're coming off an ugly 131-113 loss at the Knicks on Tuesday. The Wizards lost Thomas Bryant early in the year. They've been without a decent big man all season. Robin Lopez has not done the job. Davis Bertans out with a calf strain. It'll be interesting to see what they do at the deadline. They're going to do something. They've got to do something. You imagine that they're going to be active here. And if they're going to be active, it wouldn't shock. The Knicks have a good feeling in the locker room for the first time in years, sitting at 22-22. They're 13-8 at home. Randall goes for 37 points in that win over the Wizards. Knicks led by 20 at halftime. We have David Sharp on the over. Rose back tonight, 2 more points. He's been out for 9 games. Austin Rivers out for the birth of his child, so they'll both be back. So the Knicks led by 20. They had 6 players in double figures. Barrett goes for 21. Burks goes for 20. Robinson 16 and 11. The Knicks have a good feeling right now. Do we go right back? Akuza in the house. Great to see you, Akuza. I think that, Sharp Money says not a massive number. Let's just see what that line was 2 days ago when they last played. So that total was at 21, and of course they went for 244. And the Knicks were the exact same, 3-point favorites. In that game, they actually opened up at 2.5. Oh, sorry, excuse me. They went to 3.5 and came down to 3. Yes, we're going to break down the NIT games. No, I haven't, Rob Watkins, but I've touched it. You're not allowed I was at a bar and the guy came in with a cup and we lost our minds, but I've touched it. You're not allowed to hold it over your head, and I've never had a drink out of it. It sounds nice. Vitalis says thinks he's on Knicks first half or -1.5 first half. Gerald Jones says Wiz just collecting checks. And David Sharp says that total dropped from 225 to 221. Matt Shedden says Knicks are nothing. I agree. It feels like the Knicks are rolling and are in a good spot. Birdie with the Wizard money line for me and under in this one. And Ski Profit, there he is, right there, liking Knicks first half. Ski, with these teams clearly looking towards the future rather than right now, it feels like a spot where we need to wait and see what happens at the trade deadline. But in saying that, it also feels like a spot where if there was a big move made, it'd be made by the Wizards and not the Knicks. Silence says Knicks is Ski approved. All right. Sorry, Gas. Okay. So I think that the Knicks are the spot. I just feel like is there a chance? I mean, the Knicks don't want to build around Julius Randle, do they? I mean, is there a chance that he could be gone on this trade deadline? The Czar says Knicks by 1. All right. Oh, wow. That's cool, Rob. Okay, let's move on here. That's Wizards, Knicks. And we've been told, and we got Ski Profit, Incredible Capper in the chat saying that he says agree, but Knicks main players aren't getting traded. Best first half team versus worst first half team. Wow. And Viper says Randall not getting traded. So I agree. The Knicks just feel like they're rolling and the Wizards aren't. Do we think Derrick Rose could upset the rhythm? They're going to get Rose and Rivers back. Let's move on to 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Clippers, Spurs. Clippers 28-16, 13-10 on the road. At the Spurs 22-18, 10-11 at home. AT&T Center, San Antonio, Texas. Let's see what the market is here for Clippers. Spurs opens up Clippers -6. Now goes to 6.5. This total opens up at 221.5 and is now at 223.5. Now, you guys got me off the Spurs yesterday. Do we want to make a move on the Spurs today? Birdie says Spurs. I agree with that. Don't you think Clippers feel good about themselves? A perfect spot to sit back and... Now, do we worry that the Spurs could move somebody key like DeRozan? You know what? The day of the trade deadline. I mean, the trade deadline's over in 2 hours and 48 minutes. I'd be a lot more comfortable. David Sharp said to me, "Is this not funny business in Knicks game? Why is the line the same as the first game? Knicks dominated them." Yeah, there's something wrong with that. I absolutely agree. There's something wrong with them not being 3.5 or 4-point favorites here, but they could easily become that. The Spurs are the spot. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to wait till 3 p.m. Eastern, and that may hurt me in some spots, but I just don't want to back the Spurs in case. I mean, we know that no one's going to trade for LaMarcus Aldridge. He screwed the franchise by doing what he's done. Okay, Clippers won their third straight. It was a dominant performance, 134-101. Leonard had 25 points, 9 of 12 shooting, hit both of threes, hit all his free throws, 7 boards, 5 steals, 3 assists. Marcus Morris added 20 points. George goes for 17. Lou Will, 16. They shot 62% on threes in the first half, 56% from the field. They opened going 8 of 9 from 3. Ibaka, Beverly remain out. This is a spot where I expect a Clipper to sit and the Spurs to be the play. I do. I'm just going to wait. I'm going to wait until the trade deadline. This could hurt me here. San Antonio was 7 of 22 from 3. They turned the ball over 16 times. DeRozan 19, Mills 16. They've trailed by at least 10 points in 61% of their games. They're 9 and 16 when that happens. Rudy Gay missed the game with sore left foot. Lonnie Walker sat out with sore right wrist. They're expected to come back soon. Akura likes the Spurs. Much love, Rob Watkins. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for joining us and rolling with us, my man. Glenn Elliott, man, talking about that Warriors-Kings under. It's just the Kings, they're both playing at a fast pace right now. All right. So I'm going to move on the Spurs, but I am going to wait till 3 p.m. All right, Spurs. David Sharp says if they sit someone line, we'll change by 3 p.m. But I don't know if we'll know by in 2 hours and 45 minutes, will we? I think I'm going to take this risk, and this is part of gambling because we make bets based on whom we think might be out, whom we think might be in. I think that I'm going to make a bet that we don't know who the Clippers are sitting until past 12 o'clock Pacific. By 3 o'clock Eastern, I'll know what the Spurs are doing from the trade deadline. Yes, Bleds W, every day, 11 a.m., Monday to Friday. And then we're going to add Saturdays. We're going to add horse racing shows coming in here. David Sharp says Clippers first half under's been hitting in a nice clip. Okay, let's go to this final game here, and it's the Golden State game. And Brady says over in Golden State game, my best bet. Johnny K says can't stand the NBA injury report. It's been tricky, especially with COVID year. This total's gone from 223 up to 226.5. I bet you got in on that early, Birdie. Good job. The Warriors open up at plus 2.5. That's where they stand right now. Warriors are third in pace over their last 5 games, 102.50. Kawhi game. Is that a torn toenail? Is that did he stub his foot? Warriors are coming off their second straight loss, 108-98 at home to the Sixers. It was their third game playing without Steph Curry. I think you're right, man. It's going through my head over and over again. David Sharp says if Clippers sit someone line, will change by 3 points. Okay, I'm going to be on the Spurs. Okay. It was their third game playing without Steph Curry. The Warriors, their second straight loss, 108-98 at home to the Sixers. He'll be out for at least the rest of the week. Oubre goes for 24 and 10. Jordan Poole adds 19. Damian Lee adds 16. Wiseman returned from the NBA's health and safety protocol after missing 3 games. He'll be back in the starting lineup. Kings are coming off their second straight win, 110-108 at home over the Hawks last night. That was one of my losses, went 3-3 last night. De'Aaron Fox goes for 37 points. Fox shoots 13 of 20. It's the 10th 30-point game of the season. Marvin Bagley, broken bone in left hand, set out his 5th consecutive game. And Oubre might get traded today. Oubre's a hot commodity, I've heard. So I know that guy was on me for not making a move, capping every game, not making a move, even though I have 7 bets in NHL. Well, 6 I've made, one I still have to make in NHL. But this is the time to really sit back and make sure that there's not going to be any player personnel movement. We had Dutch Boy Fresh come in with his Tobias Harris look over 22.5. I love that look. And let's get into NIT. So let's start with, like we did in NBA, we started with Dutch Boy Fresh giving us his freshest look, and we moved there. And we started with that game. So why don't we do the same thing here? We're not going to open up with Mississippi State Richmond. We're going to open up with the game that was the taint play of the day. And that's at 7 p.m. Eastern. That's NC State Wolfpack, 14 and 10 on the year versus number 1 seed Colorado State Rams, 19 and 6. We're at Comerica Center in Frisco, Texas. The taint play today is NC State, Colorado State under 146. Those of you new to the show, it's the most popular bet we've had in the history of the show. And it's not just because of taint being in the title. It's because it wins at a very high rate. Very high rate. Vincent, my man, you're a good man. Thank you. Okay, NC State, Colorado State. Let's see what the market has done on this spot, because Matt got in at 146.5. This is opened at a pick'em, and the leading indicator books are coming in on NC State fast. So the leading indicator books, so there's pick'ems out there, and leading indicator books have already moved to -2 on NC State. This total opened up at 147.5, and we can get that 146. Brady says, I bet Colorado Moneyline, and then none, and now he's going to tail taint. Viper says taint is gold. Okay, so NC State opened up the ACC tournament by being beaten up by Syracuse. It was bad. 89-68. Now, it turns out that Syracuse was turning it on, and now that loss doesn't look so bad. And it certainly doesn't look so bad when NC State comes into the NITs and soundly defeats Davidson 75-61. Colorado State beat Fresno State in their Mountain West tournament opener and then fell to Utah State in a low-scoring 62-50 spot. They're coming off of just getting by Buffalo 75-73 in the tourney opener. Vitalis says Sharps are on the under 147. Taint is on the under 147. And I am going to follow suit here. We have another article here for NIT. Wow, this is great. Underdogs are 39-60 on the money line, but that's plus 23.26 units of profit in the NIT tournament since 2017. That is beautiful. Matt Randall leaning NC State here. You know, the market is the leading offshore market is telling us that NC State is taking money, and they're setting up a situation for Colorado State to get bet. These are indicator books that the whole market looks to. So Colorado State opens up at -117. They're now plus 110. Wow. So that means, wow. Okay. So almost all the books have moved it to 1.5. Dogs have gone 6-1-1 against the spread this year in the NIT and 6-2 on the money line. Alex Ramirez backing the Kings on the second half of a back-to-back. Recent form NC State, but no play for Glenn Elliott, man. And Noli Knows in the house. Noli Knows has Memphis -4 winning the NIT. Memphis winning it. So Memphis is in the 9 o'clock game. Let's get that early game out of the way. I'm going to copy and paste Noli's comment here. Yeah, I love it. I'm gonna follow suit. Akuza says, "Who's the taint?" That's Matt Randall's. Not his taint per se. Not that little flap of skin between the balls and the unnoose, but it is the taint play of the day. Okay, so I'm gonna add this here so we can talk about Noli's look here with Memphis. Okay, so the under and NC State feels like moves to be made. All right, let's start with the 6 p.m. spot in the NIT quarterfinal. Number 4 seed Mississippi State Bulldogs, 16-14. Versus number 2 Richmond Spiders, 14-8. We're at University of North Texas Coliseum in Denton, Texas. We have Mississippi State opening up at -2. That's moved to 3.5. Money coming in on them quickly. Spiders open up at +2. They're now at +3. Well, of course, I'm saying that. Sorry, that's the lack of sleep talking there. The total opens up at 140. That's moved down to 136.5. So the under is getting hit hard in this spot. After opening the SEC tourney by defeating Kentucky 74-73 as a slight dogs, and that was a look that Maxwell Smart got us on. The Bulldogs got destroyed by Alabama 85-48 in the SEC tournament quarters. And I could understand why St. Louis was favored. I mean, they were also the number 1 seed, but they were 4.5-point favorite St. Louis Billikens in that first round of the NITs when the Bulldogs came in and beat them 74-68. DJ Stewart Jr. went for 20. Iverson Molinar went for 19. And Birdie bet Richmond plus the points. Wow. Richmond was upset in the second round of the A-10 tourney, 67-62 by Duquesne as 3.5-point favorites. You figured that they would come in here angry. They opened up this tournament by defeating Toledo 76-66. More stuff here from our Al Mac. All right, we have a horse racing look here from the legend Gas Station Sushi. Race 3, Brasstown, the 4-horse. Race 8, the 5-horse. And in race 10, the 6-horse, Alexander AM. And so when Gas Station Sushi says the corner of Gas and Garcia, he's talking about they're the 2 spectacular thoroughbred handicappers that we all look up to, Gas Station Sushi and Dennis Garcia. And if it's on the corner of Gas and Garcia, it means they're both on these horses. And the ROI is alarming. So I'm going to leave that up there for a second. But just for those of you who don't quite understand the wording there, race 3, the 4, Brasstown. Race 8, the 5. And race 10, the 6. And we also have Guillermo Zertucci on that 5, Brasstown. Beautiful. Beautiful. And Aaron Gordon to the Nuggets. Wow, Mr. Bubbles. Wow. Glenn Man saying Richmond under 5 in a row. Wow. Aaron Gordon to the Nugs. Ooh. Oh, and look, we have another spectacular thoroughbred capper, Rod Zawacki, saying, I love the 6 in race 10. And Gas Station says I tweeted out it's a little clear. I'm at Soccer Sucks on Twitter. Do follow Gas Station Sushi. So one of those horses now is on the Rod Zawacki, Gas Station Sushi, Dennis Garcia corner. And the other 2 are on the corner of Gas and Garcia Boulevard. All right. Bulldog says, what's your favorite Disney movie? I think I've only seen one, Mighty Ducks. Okay, let's go. What's next is this Mississippi State Richmond. So we have Birdie discussing why he's on the other side of Robert Allen. So they're in that discussion here. So we have Birdie on the Spiders. We have Robert Allen, Mississippi State. The market's moving towards Mississippi State and the under. It looks like we've missed the under. I will best bet. I'll go over it. I have 7 spots on that card. So I'm not sure if one was really jumping out at me as best bet, but I'll review it before we close up. Okay, so there we have it. We have the NIT quarterfinal, and I've not moved on it. We have Matt Randall on the taint play today, the under in NC State, Colorado State. I'm going to tail that, and I'm going to move on the Wolfpack. So let's move on to this 9 p.m. spot. And UFC lock of the night for I Bet with the GOAT. I'll pop that up here on Stipe. PDCBH says Western Kentucky and Memphis Dubs tonight. Let's go over this next spot because we have Noli Knows on Memphis -4, have them winning the NIT. Boise State Broncos 19-8 on the year versus number 1 seed Memphis Tigers 17-8. Again, we're at UNT Coliseum in Denton, Texas. And Razor Sharp says, can't wait to cap again tonight, Gas. Check your DM. Do also follow the great Razor Sharp Picks on Twitter and his great horse racing show. Boise State lost in the first round of the Mountain West opener 89-82 to Nevada. They opened up this tourney by just squeaking by SMU 85-84. There's Nasty Nate in the house. There is Nasty Nate in the the rookie, Noli says. You're right, I did see the rookie. You're right, Noli. Res Mob here joining us. Memphis played Houston very tough in the 76-74 loss in the AAC semis. They came in here and very comfortably beat Dayton 71-60. This makes a ton of sense. Noli's look here on Memphis. Memphis opening up at -4. They're now at 4.5. I am going to tail Noli Knows -4 here on Memphis. Thank you, Noli. That will be a tail. I bet what the GOAT says, can't wait for MLB, bro. Yeah, MLB is a very daunting task. And with the help of you guys, I will be up to that challenge. But it's, betting so hard, betting every day. It's 162 game season. There's some days where it just beats the shit out of me. But with these great cappers in the chat, guys like Noli Knows, Spectacular Baseball Capper, I'll do my best. And I will break down all the games every day with you guys. Okay, so there we go. We've tailed Memphis. Now let's talk about the last spot on the card. Louisiana Tech Bulldogs versus Western Kentucky Hilltoppers. La Tech 22-7, Western Kentucky 21-7, Comerica Center, Frisco Center. These teams split 2 very close games in the regular season. Louisiana Tech then lost to North Texas in the Conference USA semis 54-48. And then they opened here by defeating number 1 seed Ole Miss 70-61. This is going to be a tight affair. 2 teams that don't like each other. La Tech opens up as 1-point favorites. They still are there, although a couple of the offshores have moved to -1 on Western Kentucky side. This total opened up at 138, and it's now down to 136. Oh, no, Birdie's already on Boise. I bet what the GOAT is on Western Kentucky here. They lost to North Texas 61-57 in the conference finals. They were down like 15-0. Off the hop, and they came back. They have a monster at center, a 7'1" giant who can do so many different things. And I was hoping to see him in the NCAA tournament, and I was on Western Kentucky in that spot. And Western Kentucky battled all the way back. They had a 5-point lead there in the final minute, and they lost it. Western Kentucky opened up by beating St. Mary's 69-67. Matt Shedden says, I'm leaning Western Kentucky. They are an athletic team, and they can play lockdown defense. Akuza also on Western Kentucky. And Nathan started talking about the very big and scary Charles Bassey. I bet what the GOAT says it might be a good live bet, the Western Kentucky game, yeah? And Nathan Cerna says, I took this from the godfather of unders, Noli Knows, under 143 in the Memphis game. I didn't know Noli was on that under. Wow, and that hasn't moved. Wow, okay. If Noli's on it. A North Ender saying Memphis, my fave pick of NIT too. The way La Tech took out Ole Miss was impressive. Oh, look at Rod Zawacki. 10-star play of the day's Bruins money line. Wow, Rod. With 5 defensemen out. That scares the shit out of me. We talk about the plays of the day that cash regularly on this show, and Rod Zawacki, that 10-star play of the day is one of them. Wow. Okay, we got Mr. Gokster, another spectacular NHL capper popping in his action. New Jersey Devils first period money line. Carolina Columbus over 5.5. Vegas Colorado under 1.5. Robin Allen says Western Kentucky can't get out of their own way a lot of times. You can usually tell how they're going to play the first 5 minutes of the game. I'm going to live bet this game. Well, this is my plan here. This is my plan. I'm going to stay off the Mississippi State Richmond game when we have two very sharp cappers in our chat, Robert Allen and Birdie on either side. I'm going to stay off the La Tech Western Kentucky game. Although I lean towards Western Kentucky, this La Tech team is playing good basketball, and they have a hate-on for Western Kentucky. Both teams. So I haven't studied that enough. I'm going to look into it a little more and going over those two games that they played against each other. What I will do, though, is I will move on NC State Wolfpack and the under and look at Johnny K's on La Tech. And I will move on Memphis -4 and the under. Those are Noli Nose looks. So the under is the taint play of the day. So those will be my 4 looks here in NIT, and I'm excited to be rocking them. Jacksonville Zoe here in the chat. Razor Sharp Pick says Chicago is my best bet in NHL. I'm on them as well. I got them at +115. That's moved down to +105. Says Vegas is begging everyone to take Florida at the low line. Don't fall for the trap. Without Alexander Barkov, I'm 100% with you, Razor. What great work from the chat. This is how we do, man. We work together as a team to defeat the Juice. And this is Birdie's NHL looks. All right. I was asked what my best bet was in NHL. I'm not sure exactly what it is. Chris Brady in the house. Thank you, Chris. Much love, my man. And I bet with the goal that's Western Kentucky winning by 5-8. Okay, why don't we all pop in our best bets? And I know not everybody likes them. Mark Rosado, great to see you. And I'm going to take a look at NHL and see what I like the best after all of our breakdowns. The problem is you have to sort of like them at the number that they're at right now. But, I guess I'm with, even though there's cappers on the other side of me, I guess I like the Blackhawks without Alexander Barkov. So, yeah, I guess I would say because you're getting plus money, I love it at the +115 I got it at. At the +105 it's available right now. I don't mind it. Mr. Gokster has Carolina Columbus over as his play of the day. Glenn Elliott, man, is the Penguins -1.5. Look, I like the Penguins -1.5 very, very much. I got that -110. So, Adam Beck on Washington -1.5 at +125. Al Max best bet is all 4 dogs in the NIT. Dav Fence best bet is the over in the Lakers game. Okay, so in review in NHL, and I'll be reviewing everybody's best bets as well. Bled's liking that Panthers period 1 money line. Interesting. So I'm on the Islanders +105. The Devils Washington under 6 at -120. The Penguins -1.5 at -110. Pittsburgh Buffalo under 6 at -120. And Blackhawks +115. There's D Summers in the house. Oh, David, how are you doing, my man? We know that you were going through a tough time there with the fam. And we were sending you as much love as possible. And it's so great to see you, man. It is so absolutely great to see you. And Blackhawks +115 and the under 6.5. Matt Shedden best bet for the money is Vegas. Vegas money line. Okay, so then in NBA, I'm going to be on the Spurs, but I'm going to wait a couple more hours. I want to see if they move anybody that I want to have in this game. Robert Allen's best bet is Mississippi State -2.5. Then in NIT, and then I'm going to tail Dutch Boy Fresh's Tobias Harris over 22.5. I bet with the GOAT as Denmark in soccer at -125 as his best bet. Oh, that's great news, D Summers. Oh man, David, that's what we wanted to hear. Oh, it makes me so happy. Johnny K also liking the Spurs money line. Johnny K, are you going to move on that before 3 o'clock? Yeah, Al Max says that. I listen, Al. We talked about it. Remember, before the COVID hit last year, we were going to go in big in these tournaments, making those moves. And I would like to do it on a regular season when there's fans in the crowd, sold out seats and shit like that. So we'll go back to that. Danny, like in Sixers -6.5, all in. David, like Minnesota minus 120, Washington minus 190. David Sharp doesn't have a best bet yet, still doing his research. All right. Hey, listen, I agree with what Johnny K's saying. Hey, listen, I watched that game completely. That was all just atrocious goaltending. I mean, we see what they do to Arizona when they have Grubauer in net. They dominate them. I was on the over in that game. I still didn't have the balls to take Arizona, even though they had Jonas Johansson in. I mean, he was awful. He is awful. He's awful. If you guys want to hit the link for me to check out the article on the NIT trends for the quarterfinals, that would help us out immensely. So please, if you're looking for any way to help out the show, that's it. That's what we would love if you could do that. Glenn Elliman says, what happened to Vigneault hockey in Philly? They have a veteran team, and the best players on their team are the young guys. And it's not working. It's amazing it's not working. It looked so good in the playoffs last year, and then it doesn't work. Sports are a fickle, funny thing. Teams get rolling. Teams fall off so quickly. Mr. Ghost says, guy came from Rochester. Not sure why you landed such a sought-after goalie. Okay, so I'm going to move on to Spurs. But at this point, I'm a little hesitant to move on the Knicks. But, you know, the Gretzky profits on them first half. So, and then this Golden State Warriors spot, I think I like the Kings, even though they're on the second half of a back-to-back. I think I do. Thank you, Nathan Cerna. 5 weeks old. 5 weeks old, my boy Carter. All right, there it is. There's our show. Thank you guys so much for rolling with us. Yesterday, 3-3 in NBA and 2-4 in NHL, not acceptable. Let's have a real nice winning day. I'll be here at 11 a.m. tomorrow with you guys, and I can't wait. I absolutely can't wait. We have nothing without these great cappers in the chat. Matt Randall, Matt Shedden. Oh, let's review Matt Randall's taint play of the day. Is the NC State, Colorado State under 146, and I'm tailing that. All you guys, Johnny K, Glenn Elliott Mann, Robert Allen, Matt Shedden, David Sharp, Rod Zawacki, Johnny K, Nathan Cerna, Mr. Ghoster, David Summer, Frank Vega. Frank Vega, play of the day, Kings Warriors, under 226.5. That's awesome. Frank, not afraid to go against that market move. North Ender. What an absolute great group. Hey, listen. As soon as they got Cale McCarr back and Bowen Byron back, and I know Bowen Byron was back out, they look like, to me, the best team in the National Hockey League. Personally. And I watch their games very closely. I have future bets on them. Birdie sharing his insights. Slats 45. Jackson Zoe. Bleds W. Al Mack. Adam Beck. Gloria K. Nathan Cerna. I think I've said Nathan Cerna's name 3 times here. I didn't get much rest last night. Razor Sharp Picks. Mr. Coaster. I've said his name already. I bet with the GOAT. Gas Station Sushi. All you guys, thank you so much for all of your support. Let's have a day today. All right? Let's get paid in full. Hey, those bookmakers. Let's go.